When most people think about Buckingham Palace, they imagine the grandeur, the pomp, and of course, the British monarchy. But there's so much more to it than just being a place for royal ceremonies. This magnificent building is not just a home, it's a symbol of history, power, and tradition. And here's something you may not know: Buckingham Palace is worth a staggering $5.3 billion. dollars. Yes, you read that right. Billion with a B. So, what makes this palace so valuable? Why is it worth so much? Well, today we're going to take a look at 10 incredible things about Buckingham Palace, exploring its history, its worth, and what makes it so extraordinary. And trust me, there are some surprising facts you won't want to miss. 10. The palace is enormous, over 77,000 square feet. First things first, this palace is huge. Buckingham Palace spans over 77,000 square feet. That's almost the size of an entire small town. With more than 700 rooms, this building isn't just for the royal family. It includes everything from staterooms and private bedrooms to offices, kitchens, and staff quarters. If you were to visit, you'd have a hard time exploring it all in a single day. Just think about it. Over 52 bedrooms for staff and royal family members, 92 offices, and a whopping 188 staff rooms. With all this space, it's no surprise that Buckingham Palace is considered one of the largest private residences in the world. 9. It houses an incredible art collection. Next, let's talk about the art. If you think Buckingham Palace is just a home, think again. It's also a treasure chest of priceless artwork. The palace is home to over 7,000 pieces of art, including sculptures, paintings, and historical objects. Some of the world's greatest artists are represented here, like Rembrandt, Vermeer, and Canaletto. King Charles, following in his mother's footsteps, has kept the tradition of curating and maintaining the royal art collection. The art you see inside Buckingham Palace reflects centuries of British history and culture. Many of the paintings have been passed down from past monarchs, making the collection a living piece of the UK's royal heritage. 8. The palace is a symbol of power and tradition. But Buckingham Palace isn't just about luxury, it's also a symbol of British power and tradition. For over 200 years, this grand building has been the official residence of the British monarchy. When Queen Victoria moved in during 1837, she turned Buckingham Palace into a royal landmark, cementing its place in history. The architecture, the gardens, and even the way it's structured have been designed to showcase the monarchy's strength and legacy. Today, King Charles holds this legacy, and he uses Buckingham Palace to not only represent the royal family, but also to uphold its role in British society. Every ceremonial event, every royal appearance, and every public speech made from the palace only reinforces its status as a powerful symbol of the British monarchy. 7. It's home to hundreds of staff. Now, let's talk about the people who work there. Buckingham Palace is not just a residence, it's also a fully operational complex. More than 500 staff members work at the palace to keep everything running smoothly. This includes chefs, housekeepers, gardeners, security personnel, and even a team of specialists who manage the royal collection. In fact, the palace's full-time staff works around the clock to prepare for royal events, maintain the grounds, and make sure everything from the staterooms to the private chambers is in pristine condition. So, while it may look like a simple palace from the outside, it's actually a busy, bustling place with hundreds of employees who are constantly making sure everything stays in tip-top shape. 6. The gardens are massive. 40 acres of beauty. Let's not forget the beautiful gardens surrounding Buckingham Palace. The gardens cover a massive 40 acres of land, making them one of the largest private gardens in London. Inside this vast green space, you'll find serene lakes, rolling lawns, and exquisite flower beds. The gardens are also home to rare birds and wildlife, and in fact, it's a popular spot for picnics and royal events. The Queen often hosted garden parties in these stunning grounds, and King Charles too has used them for royal gatherings. From the outside, the palace looks impressive, but the gardens are a true hidden gem. Whether it's a royal garden party or a quiet moment of reflection, these grounds add another layer of charm and beauty to Buckingham Palace. 5. More than just a home. It's a place for government and state functions. While Buckingham Palace is, of course, the residence of the royal family, it's also much more than that. It's an important government building and serves as the official setting for state functions and political meetings. Heads of state from all over the world visit the palace to meet with the monarch, and it's where state banquets, official ceremonies, and meetings are held. The changing of the guard, which takes place outside the palace, is one of the most iconic and photographed events in the world. Every year, King Charles will use the palace to welcome world leaders and dignitaries. It's a place where history is made, with royal protocols observed and global discussions happening right inside the walls of Buckingham Palace. 4. The throne room, a symbol of royal power. Inside Buckingham Palace, there's one room that truly symbolizes the power of the monarchy: the throne room. This majestic room has been the setting for many key moments in royal history. It's where the monarch holds state banquets, and it's where official ceremonies take place. The throne itself, situated at the far end of the room, is a reminder of the centuries of royal tradition and the authority the British monarchy holds. The throne room's grand interior features golden details, velvet curtains, and elegant chandeliers that make it one of the most iconic rooms in the palace. If you've ever watched a royal wedding, you've likely seen this room on television, where royals and guests gather for key events. For King Charles, the throne room is both a ceremonial space and a powerful symbol of his royal authority. Third King Charles plans to modernize the palace. As much as Buckingham Palace represents tradition, it's also looking toward the future. King Charles has expressed his desire to modernize the palace, and there's already been a shift in focus towards sustainability. The king is known for his environmental concerns, and he has made it clear that Buckingham Palace will adapt to meet the challenges of the modern world. Plans are in place to improve the palace's energy efficiency and introduce more sustainable practices. From better insulation to the use of renewable energy, Buckingham Palace is moving toward a more eco-friendly future while maintaining its historical and royal charm. It's a delicate balance, but King Charles seems committed to keeping Buckingham Palace a symbol of both tradition and progress. 2. The palace's architecture is a masterpiece. Of course, we can't talk about Buckingham Palace without mentioning its stunning architecture. The palace was originally designed by architect John Nash in the early 1800s, with significant expansions taking place under the direction of other architects over time. The neoclassical design, with its clean lines and elegant detailing, makes the palace one of the most recognized buildings in the world. The grand facade, the intricate windows, and the iconic balcony where the royal family often appears all add to its visual impact. Every corner of Buckingham Palace exudes opulence, and its architecture reflects both its royal status and its role as a government building. It's not just a place to live. It's a living masterpiece. 1. The palace's worth, $5.3 billion. Now let's get to the real shocker. Buckingham Palace is worth a jaw-dropping $5.3 billion. This makes it one of the most expensive and valuable residences in the world. The massive value is tied not only to the building itself, but also to its history, art collection, and land. The palace is a priceless national treasure, and while it's the royal family's residence, it also serves as an iconic cultural landmark. It's not just the buildings and grounds that add to the palace's worth, it's the intangible value of what the monarchy represents. Buckingham Palace is much more than just bricks and mortar. It's a symbol of British history, power, and global influence. For King Charles, this $5.3 billion palace is both a responsibility and an honor to preserve for future generations. And there you have it. 10 incredible facts about King Charles's $5.3 billion Buckingham Palace. From its enormous size to its priceless art collection and stunning gardens, there's so much more to this royal residence than meets the eye. It's a living symbol of history, power, and the British monarchy, and with King Charles at the helm, we can expect it to continue standing as a beacon of tradition and progress. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.